Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Friday, December 30th, 2022. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Friday in college basketball. First up, it's North Carolina taking on Pittsburgh. This one's going to be 12 Eastern on ACC Network. Both teams on win streaks going into this game. North Carolina has won 4 straight. Pittsburgh on a 3-game win streak. And you look at North Carolina this season, 9-4 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Pittsburgh, same record at 9-4, but they are 2-0 in conference play after taking down NC State and Syracuse. Both of those games were true road games for the Panthers, but in this matchup, I think it benefits the Tar Heels just a little bit more, and I'm willing to lay the points with North Carolina on the road. When you look at the numbers, North Carolina is not really off to a great shooting start to the season. They're ranked 128th in the nation in effective field goal percentage, which is okay, but nothing that we're used to seeing from this North Carolina team, especially last year's team, which has a lot of players on this year's team as well. The last year's team making it to the NCAA tournament final, playing very well in conference play. That was a good shooting team. They were 60th in the nation in three-point shooting, and right now they're ranked 293rd in the country in three-point shooting as a team. So I do think those numbers are going to improve, and you already see North Carolina's ranked 11th in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency because they take care of the basketball, they get to the free throw line, they're a pretty good free throw shooting team as well. So I think we're going to see even better numbers for North Carolina's offense as we continue this season. The defense is already in pretty good form, ranked 57th in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency, good defensive rebounding team that doesn't take too many fouls. You know, Pittsburgh benefited from last game's matchup against Syracuse because Pittsburgh's a good three-point shooting team, and they're able to get those offensive rebounds against that 2-3 zone for Syracuse. But you look at the numbers, even though Pittsburgh won that game, they only won the game by 2 points despite shooting 13 of 32 from 3, 40% compared to Syracuse's 6 of 24, 25%. When you look at those shooting numbers, you'd expect Pittsburgh, even on the road, to win a game like that by more than just 2 points. So I do worry about this Pittsburgh defense when it comes to two-point field goal defense. I think North Carolina's going to be able to take advantage of that in this game. So give me the Tar Heels laying the points on the road. Next up, it's NC State taking on Clemson. This one's going to be 4 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network. You look at NC State and Clemson off to great starts this year overall. NC State 11-3, Clemson 10-3, but Clemson perfect in ACC action, 2-0 this season, while NC State has a losing record at 1-2. But they have played some tough teams in the conference, unlike Clemson, who already has wins over 2 of the weaker teams in the ACC, Wake Forest and Georgia Tech. But you know, NC State, a very good offense, a very good shooting team. They take care of the basketball, good perimeter shooting team as well, pretty good on the glass also. Clemson has been excellent from 3. This is one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country right now, 15th ranked with a 39.4% perimeter shooting as a team, but they are facing a good defense, a perimeter defense, I should say, in NC State. It's also a good defensive rebounding team. We know Clemson's had some issues getting those second-chance opportunities. They're ranked 307 in the country in offensive rebounding. So if they're not making those three-pointers at a great rate, which is going to be tough against this NC State defense, I do worry about their offense overall in this matchup because they're just not going to get those second-chance looks. And you know, NC State's offense can compete, I think, with Clemson in this matchup. I think the difference maker goes to NC State being the better rebounding team, being the better defensive team. And even though this is a true road game, it's a tough spot for NC State. I like the Wolfpack's chances to keep this game close. I'm going to take NC State in this one plus the points. Next up, it's a Pac-12 conference matchup between USC and Washington. This one's going to be 10 o'clock Eastern on the Pac-12 network. You know, most teams, when they play in conference games, they usually play much better at home, and that's definitely the case for Washington, who is already 1-0 at home in conference action this season, and 8 of their 11 wins in Pac-12 play last year were at home, and the win already this season was against Colorado, a top 60 KenPom team, and that was a double-digit win, 73-63. And overall, I've been pretty impressed with Washington this season. You know, they played a pretty tough schedule. They already have games in against St. Mary's and Colorado, Gonzaga, and they beat St. Mary's in overtime at a neutral site, 68-64. That is a very good St. Mary's team right now, top 20 in KenPom. So I think Washington has more than enough to be able to compete in this game against a good USC team that's on a win streak. You know, they pulled off the upset over Auburn not too long ago, but I do think USC's offense is just not as potent as it was last year. I mean, this was a USC offense ranked 54th in adjusted offensive efficiency, 64th in three-point shooting. This year, just not the same. Not a very good perimeter shooting team. They've had issues turning the ball over. Their rebounding numbers have gone way down as well, both on the offensive and defensive side of things. So I worry about the USC in this matchup on the road. I don't think they're going to have the best of luck in road Pac-12 games this year. And I'm going to take Washington in this spot. I think there's some value with the Huskies. So give me Washington on the money line. Next up, we see Buffalo taking on Michigan State. This one's going to be 6 o'clock Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Now, I do think that this game matters a lot more to Buffalo than it does to Michigan State. Now, there's no doubt Michigan State wants to avoid the outright upset, but is Michigan State very motivated to earn a blowout win in this game and cover the number in the end? I just don't think so. You know, I don't believe in look-ahead spots most times, but I will say you have the Big Ten Conference game on deck against Nebraska in only a few days. You've already played a couple of weaker teams in your most recent games. You played Oakland last time out, and you only beat them by 13 points, and you only scored 67 points against an Oakland team that's struggling this season overall, and they're ranked 304 in KenPom. So does Michigan State have that motivation to keep their foot on the pedal for 40 minutes? I'm not so sure, but even if they do, I think Buffalo is still good enough to compete in this game. The defense for Buffalo, I think, is even better than what their current adjusted defensive efficiency number says. They're a good team in terms of forcing turnovers. They're a good perimeter defense. So I think the Buffalo Bulls can hang in this game. Their offense isn't great this season, and they've lost a lot of production from last year's team. So there's going to be some natural growing pains. But overall, I think Buffalo has been more than competitive enough this year against some of the tougher teams they played on their schedule to at least cover the number in this game. I think Michigan State wins. I think they win pretty comfortably, but I think Buffalo covers the number in the end as the underdog. So give me the points here with the Buffalo Bulls. Next up, the final game for Friday's card in college basketball. This one's going to be American University and Lafayette. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Plus in the Patriot League. Now, I do think that both of these teams' records are a little bit deceiving. You look at American, they're 8-3 overall. They just had their 8-game win streak snapped by Siena in their most recent game, but off to a great start the Eagles are. On the other side, Lafayette, they're 2-11. Their only 2 wins against Central Connecticut, so nothing crazy there. And their most recent game over LaSalle, 90-65, though. That was a blowout win over a pretty solid, I wouldn't say they're having a great year, LaSalle, but they're still an A-10 team nonetheless. So a big win for Lafayette. I think the momentum carries over into conference action. Like I said, it is very tough to beat teams on their home court in conference play. And we saw last year Lafayette was a pretty good home team in the Patriot League, even though overall they were 7-11 in conference play. Americans off to an unbelievable start shooting the basketball. They're 12th in the country in effective field goal percentage, 37th in three-point percentage, 23rd in two-point field goal percentage. But last year, this was an American team that was nowhere near any of those numbers. Last year, they were 193rd in effective field goal percentage, 214th in three-point percentage. Now, teams can improve, but this is a pretty similar team from last year's American roster, and that was a team ranked 323rd in adjusted offensive efficiency. And even this season, the numbers aren't great in terms of adjusted offensive efficiency for American. So there, we can expect some natural regression for this American offense overall. They turn the ball over a ton, ranked 281st in turnover percentage. So, Lafayette, they're a pretty solid team that takes care of the basketball. They're coming off a win, and I do think they're going to grab another one in this game. So give me Lafayette here on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.